Can you all see my screen?
Yep.
Right, perfect. Well, first and foremost, my name's John Darin. Welcome to the breakout session, the introduction for the wine studies at the Northwest Wine Academy. So I'll kind of just give you a brief introduction to myself first. I'm a fairly new teacher here. I started this last fall. The winemaker as well as the winemaking instructor, and teach a small handful of other classes here. But yeah, I've been in the industry for close to 10 years now. I went to Cal Poly San Luis Obispo for my undergrad, and I've been really excited to be in Seattle and be part of this program. I've been here for about 5 years in Seattle. I previously worked for K Vintners in Georgetown as part of working for Charles Smith there. A great experience there, and really happy to be part of the Seattle College's team. So with that, I think we can just kind of get moving through this. So we offer a pretty unique program here at South Seattle College. It's a little confusing. The Northwest Wine Academy is located at South Seattle College, so north-south. But the Northwest Wine Academy was established in 2004 and is the really first and only working and teaching winery of its kind in Western Washington. So not only do we actually teach classes here, we also have a full functioning production facility, laboratory, as well as tasting room. So, classes are really designed for students who want to enter the industry, whether it's, on the more, sommelier side, on the wine production side, whatever. We offer a lot of different programs and a lot of different opportunities to, learn the wine industry. This is a program that's exclusively offered at South Seattle College. It's not available at North or Central. And there's really no entry requirements beyond being at least 18 years of age, which usually isn't too big of a deal for most of our students. And there's an entry, exam type thing just to make sure you have some basic vocabulary and reading and writing and mathematics and things like that. But for the most part, this is a pretty open program for anyone just trying to grab a small kind of certificate degree or go the full 9 yards and actually get one of our AAS degrees as well. So we offer certificate AAS programs for both wine production and wine marketing. Those are our two main focuses there. You can see some students we have here who are actually actively doing what's called a pump over on some of the wine we make on campus. This right here is actually our enologist named Jen Hurley doing some pump overs and some movement on the press day. And here's a small lineup of some of the labels that we currently offer at the tasting room. So our faculty consists of industry professionals who come from a diverse set of backgrounds, give a really holistic and practical view of the industry, preparing students for all sorts of careers in the wine industry. Students will really engage in every aspect of the industry, from making wine to running lab analysis to actually understanding and directing sales at our tasting room, as well as our diverse classroom set. This is pretty standard for the industry to have industry professionals, and we are right there with that standard. I've worked in the industry for quite a bit of time, as well as many of the other professors here. We really try to focus the program to being, really enabling students to understand what the industry is currently doing and being able to, really get your hands into the work you'll be doing as a, working person in this industry. So we really like to specialize in very practical, focused education. Here's some other photos I pulled together. This is actually one of our tasting room right now. So you can see we've got some, Seahawks banners and stuff. This is on the bottom left corner here. This is actually the facility proper. You can see we're doing some racking that day, moving some wines around. We have a small tank farm, and we actually just recently got a brand new concrete egg tank, which is a very fancy fermentation vessel. It's really gorgeous, and it's kind of my new toy for the cellar. So I'm really happy to have it here, and hopefully you all get to use it and make some excellent wine with it. This is our other instructor for sensory analysis, as well as wine and food pairing. It's Lenny Reed. This is one of the previous professors here doing an addition that is not actually just milk. It's just a vessel to hold the additive there. and kind of showing the classrooms and various components of the real world winemaking. So this really is a way to get your hands dirty and really get in there while also developing a lot of your more scientific and sensory skills in the process. So we offer multiple degree and certificate program options. The average length for the associate's degree is around 2 years, give or take, depending on how full-time or half-time you're doing it. The average tuition cost for full-time in-state is around $2,000 per quarter, which includes basically everything of your tuition, textbooks, fees, tools. That includes wine for sensory and all that stuff. So it's pretty straightforward in that sense. The typical class times are also in the evenings. A good amount of our students are currently full-time employed and are doing this to either do a career change or some of them just for fun. So we like to work around that, and so most of our classes are offered in the evening. That way, students have the ability to kind of live their life and kind of get into the industry at their own pace, and hopefully not absolutely running it into the ground in the process. We enroll new students also in the spring and fall quarters if you're interested in doing the AAS program. So both program pathways have actually 3 different degree options. So we have the wine production as well as the wine marketing. So they have an AAS, which is just your standard associates, an AAST, which is for transfer students who are seeking continuing education, like if you'd like to go and continue on and get a bachelor's or move on that direction. We also offer those kinds of ideas or those kinds of degree pathways. And then also just a certificate program. And we'll go into a little bit about each one of those and how they're kind of different. This is actually a photo of the sensory analysis class that we have on campus. Directly behind it over here this is where the tasting room is. This is a full functioning tasting room. Right now we're open 2 days a week. I encourage any and all of you to come by and come check out the wines at a tasting. We are open 2 days a week from 1 o'clock to 6 o'clock. As of right now, and we'll probably be extending those hours here fairly shortly. So gorgeous classroom behind this, you can't see in this photo, is a full production kitchen as well, where we focus on mostly food and wine pairing and learning the science and art of actually pairing foods with wines. There's some more images here. This is kind of the tasting room without lots of people in it right there. This is kind of how it currently looks. Over here we do host events. We will be having an actual wine club that we're reinstating since COVID, kind of made that difficult. So we've got the wine club program back up and running. We do host events and various things like that. So, I mean, this is definitely a full production facility that you also get to use as your platform to learn. So I think it's one of the few schools that really offers a robust program in that sense, especially in the western part of Washington. And I think it really gives a solid edge in leaving the school and entering the industry, because you've not only learned about all the facets of marketing and sales and all that, but you've done it yourself. And that's really what separates, I think, our program and can really prepare you for a career in this industry. So talking about wine marketing and sales, my thing's covering my top here. Marketing of sales, food and wines. Cool. So again, with the marketing and sales of food and wine, the Associate of Applied Science, the AA degree, you will learn the necessary information to become a certified somm, wine history and the origin expertise, along with matching wines to food, and what it takes to effectively market, promote wine and food. Program prepares students for a career involving selling wine to wholesalers, retailers, restaurants, and to the public. So winery or hospitality industry entrepreneur or employee. So it really is a holistic look at not only developing your skills as a somm in your own right, in your ability to taste wine effectively, to understand the industry, the production side, but also what it takes and gain the skills to effectively sell wine, to start your own business, and to or to just gain a job in this industry, working with wine and being able to sell it and move through that. So for the associates, the AAS, Generally speaking, about 92 credits to complete that. The estimated program length for full-time is around 6 quarters. Part-time is about 11 quarters. So we're on the quarter system here. So it's there's 4 quarters a year. The quarters are offered in fall, winter, and spring. So here's just a small list of some of the various classes that are available. You can see that it's a very diverse range of classes here, everything from introduction to enology or wine science and viticulture, or vine science, sensory analysis, tourism, Washington wine specific, wine history, ancient times to the Enlightenment, which is what I actually teach as well. Wines of the world, entrepreneurship, teach that one as well. Marketing, sales, advanced food and wine pairing, as well as introduction to food and wine pairing, compliance, food and wine pairing, and fermentations in general, just broad fermentation science. There is a class that focuses on that, everything from beer to kimchi and you name it. So really, really cool there, super fascinating class. And pretty much everything in between. So lots of ways to expand your knowledge of wine, lots of different opportunities there to kind of angle your degree into the direction you would like to see. If you're interested in the more sommelier side of that, we offer a bunch of programs to get you very, very comfortable with all the various types of wines and styles available in the world, as well as some of the harder science classes available for people who are more interested in that side of the industry. So the transfer student, so it's basically the same thing as the AAS degree. It's a little different though. There's 94 credits to complete, and this is really more focused for students who are actually going to transfer to a bachelor program. Maybe at, WSU or something of that nature. So if you're interested in actually continuing a degree and just starting it here, we have options there. Those degrees do transfer, and you can go ahead and get your start here and move on to bigger things. So definitely an option for students who are interested in going that direction with that. It's full-time. It's still about 6 quarters. Part-time, because it is 2 units more, can be 11 to 12 for part-time. So the marketing, certificate program, I should say, prepares students for a career involving selling wine to wholesalers, retailers, restaurants, and to the public. Students studying marketing techniques, including packaging, pricing, and brands of wines, explore the demographics of wine sales and marketing of brands throughout the world, and learn about compliance and government regulations. So all the things you need to get prepared for positions in this industry. A lot of people in the surrounding Seattle area have gone through these certificate programs as a way to kind of do career changes or get themselves prepared for working, in a more professional wine setting. So this is a much more abbreviated program, and full-time, it should only take you about 4 quarters there. So, and part-time about 6 to 8. So it's a little more abbreviated. Their certificate is definitely very sought after in this area, where a lot of people, want to enter the industry as quickly as possible. This is a great option for those students interested in kind of moving into the industry as quickly as possible while gaining some, very, very important skills and education in the process. So wine production. So this is more my speed over here. I'm as the winemaker and winemaking instructor. I teach a lot of classes in this side of the spectrum here. You can see this is actually just a photo of the outside of our building. Little brief look at some of our tank farm, you can call it, very, very tiny one. But we have 3 fairly large tanks here, and I have a whole mess of these guys, these stainless steel tanks, for every type of small lot, little project type thing you can imagine. So we have lots of opportunities to try different styles of wine, to learn all the different facets of wine production, especially wine production of various styles. So there's a lot of opportunities there to really get your hands into the process of making wine and experience and try various styles and various wines throughout their production. So the hope is to really, if you're doing the 2-year AAS program, you will go from literally helping me pick fruit at Chateau Saint Michel all the way to actually bottling completed finished wine and hopefully selling it in our tasting room. So it really is the entire process, the entire life of the wines you will be directly in part of. As I say to a lot of my students, I may be the winemaker, but you all are really the winemakers. I'm just here to kind of keep the guardrails and kind of guide the process a little bit. But in reality, when you come to this program, you get the opportunity to really, put yourself into the wines and really, discover for yourself what kinds of styles and what kinds of wines that you enjoy and want to be part of. Very cool. So you can learn the science of winemaking from start to finish. The wine production program teaches the basic knowledge and skills necessary to produce quality wine. Students study wine production from vine to bottle, quite literally, including up-to-date winery practices and day-to-day operations. They learn the chemistry of wine and how it can be used to affect the winemaking decisions. They also learn viticulture practices, how they affect the wine quality. In addition to classroom learning, students get hands-on experience by participating in a full year of winery operations in our state-of-the-art commercial teaching winery. And if that sounds a little bit scary, I know I've had some students go, wow, I maybe don't know that much about wine and I'm going to be thrown right into making it right away. Well, the first year we like to really focus on just kind of gaining a theoretical background, making sure that everyone has a basic understanding of wine production, wine technology, and most importantly, safety. And then the second year, a little bit towards the end of the first year, but then really the second year, the education really kind of leaves the classroom and enters the winemaking facility proper. So you will basically be using all of those skills and all the theoretical knowledge you gain over the first year in the program, and you will actually use that to make wine in person. And it's a whole lot of fun. So maybe a couple late nights, but it's a really great time, and you really get to make wines the way you want to make them. It's very, very cool.
Can we skip around in the classes? Like if we're really interested in the chemistry of wine, can we like take those classes earlier than the second year?
Yeah, so they're the kind of the order, we'll talk about that a little bit here, but you will be taking wine chemistry classes earlier than the actual winemaking stuff, and a lot of them you'll do concurrently. So for instance, right now, your first quarter, you'll generally take your introduction to enology and viticulture, and then principles of winemaking 1. And by your winter quarter, you will start actually taking your first enology classes proper, and that will be coincided with your second step in the elements of winemaking class. So I'll show you in 1 second here. You can kind of see the classes are a little bit tied together for the production side. That way you can kind of marry the education to what's happening in the winery proper. So there's definitely a good focus on wine chemistry. If that's what your focus is on, you will definitely get some experience in the wine chemistry side before your second year. Absolutely. Hope that answer your question.
Yes, thank you.
Cool, thanks. All right, we'll keep on keeping on. Thanks for the question. All right. Okay, I'm just reading the here. I'm actually going to take questions at the very end. So I see your chat there. We will totally brush up on that. I'm just going to kind of get through all of this, and then at the very end we can address some of the questions and make sure everyone's got everything answered. So for the Associate in Applied Science degree, AAS, it's also 92 credits to complete. Full-time is around 7, possibly 6 if you really cram it in there. And part-time is going to be 13. So this is really an all-encompassing degree to get you ready to go to making wine. We feed a lot of our students into the Woodinville winemaking community. Lots and lots of folks there have graduated from this program, and we teach everything from literally how to drive a forklift, which if you've seen a lot of wineries, you can tell there's a lot of forklifting to be done. So we get you an introduction to that. Viticulture and enology, kind of standard for both programs, and then you go through a couple of the series here. So these are the classes that I predominantly focus on and teach. This is the elements of wine production 1, 2, and 3. So that will be your first year here. It's going to be Win 103, 4, and 5. And then your second year, you'll be introduced to the actual production side, where you will be doing 107, 108, and 109 as wine production 1, 2, and 3. So these classes are required to be done in order, just so you have an idea of what's going to be happening each quarter. And it would not make a whole lot of sense to jump right into wine production 3 without having experienced 2 and 1, because the information really does tie together. So these classes are really focused on kind of breaking down the life cycle of a wine and going through each kind of stage of a year in a winery, and going through all the various components that separate those and make those important to learn kind of in their own right. So there's also wine science, chemistry, and microbiology. We have sensory analysis, as well as your basic introductions to wines of the world, Washington wines. We're kind of remodifying the tasting room management course, but that will be available hopefully soon, as well as winery operations, distribution, network and supplies, entrepreneurship and innovation, which I will be teaching, as well as winery compliance. So this program can prepare you for everything from just wanting to enter the industry and work for someone else, as well as gaining the skills to start your own operation. So it really can be all of the skills you'll gain from here will be invaluable to you if you want to work in the wine production side of this industry. So that's just for the AAS program. For the transfer degree, very similar. It's this pretty similar setup as the wine marketing. It's 2 extra credits to complete. Takes a little bit longer there, but that would prepare you for entering another program for a bachelor degree. And so yeah, there's various programs in both Washington and California that can will accept these transfer degrees. And this could really be a great option if you're looking into getting into academia, or to just furthering your own education for its own sake. Let me go back. Cool. The last thing I'll talk about for the production aspect is the certificate. So the wine production certificate teaches the basic knowledges and skills necessary to produce quality wines. Students study wine production from vine to bottle, including up-to-date winery practices and day-to-day operations. They learn the chemistry of wine and how it can be used to affect winemaking decisions. They also learn how viticulture practices affect wine quality. In addition to classroom learning, students get, hands-on experience by participating in a full year of winery operations in our state-of-the-art commercial winery. So for this one, it's pretty imperative you start in the fall. That way you actually see the entire process of making wine. I believe we do allow you to start in spring, but I would really suggest getting at least 1 full year. I think, harvest is a great time to get started. So you can kind of see the industry and it's all its craziness, firsthand. So the credits to complete is 48. So in full time, you can do it in 4 quarters, or part time, about 7 to 8. This is really great for a lot of students who we have who might already currently be in the industry working and just want to increase their skills, or just get a little bit of theoretical knowledge and really increase their own skills in the industry. So I have people who just want to learn more about wine and really want to understand how it's made, and maybe do some of their own winemaking on the side, all the way to students who are actively assistant winemakers or winemakers who would like to have a conventional wine education to help make their own companies and their own wines better, and be able to operate more efficiently, and overall learn more about the industry they're involved in. Some jobs available to our graduates from the wine production program: winemaker, assistant winemaker, cellar master, lab assistant, enologist, and quality control assistant. And this is just really where it starts. So, we like to prepare students for pretty much anything in this industry. We recently had, as a guest lecturer, some representatives from Loire, as well as Charleroi barrel cooperages. And there's also opportunities in that side of the industry and distribution, you name it. If it's something to do with making wine, we'd like to prepare you for a career in whatever side of this industry you feel is for you. So we have people who have graduated from these programs who are, not only just working at wineries. We have a plethora of them who actually own their own facilities, own their own winemaking operations, and have been very, very successful. There's, I believe, over 900 wineries in Washington, and about 60,000 planted acres and plus. of actual grapevines. There's a lot of opportunities to actually take this degree, move into the industry. There's plenty of space for us, and right now people really need skilled labor in this industry. So it's a great time to get in. Some other jobs available to our graduates from the wine marketing program: tasting room management, compliance marketing and office management, wine distributor sales, wine education, sommelier, wine program manager, events coordinator, manager, wine steward, direct sales manager, marketing coordinator, wine merchandiser, and wine tourism. So really just the whole gambit outside of the actual production side. Having an actual background and degree, whether it's a certificate or an AAS, can really be the stepping stone to getting one of these jobs. Very sought after and very specialized education. So being able to learn from professionals who have done this themselves and can kind of steer you in the right direction, as well as giving up-to-date current education, is really what can separate you as an employee, as a creator, as an entrepreneur, and really set you on a course for being successful in this industry. So here's just some of the places I spoke a little bit earlier about. Some people who have come from this program. Many of them, everyone at this in these wineries has in some way been involved in this program. Whether it's at Patterson Cellars, the winemaker there is actually a graduate here himself, as well as for Upside Down. WM Grassi, the enologists for K Vintners went through this program. The winemakers at Savage Grace have also graduated from the program, and so on and so forth. So if you might recognize some of the wineries here, some of these are some very big heavy hitters in Washington, and have really steered the industry of Washington wine, which I might remind you is the actual second biggest wine producer in the country, just behind California. So so there's a lot of opportunities here. This is not a program by which you go there, you just have someone talk at you for a little while, and then you go out and say, how do I actually do this job? No. People can take these degrees and really go places with them. We have a very high success rate for our students. Many of them are at the very least working in the industry, and at the most have actually been trendsetters and very important to the actual function and direction of the entire Washington wine industry itself. So lots of potential here, lots of places and lots of ways to use this degree to better your career, and it's wine, better your life, right? It's fun. So that's pretty much it for the presentation today. I'll take questions at this point. If there's anything that I can't ask or I can't answer right away, I can find that information for you. Please reach out to the email right there, the phone number. If I don't have an answer for you right this second, I'll make sure I get you that answer here shortly. And if you also have anything about the advising or college admissions when this breakout route ends and it actually goes back to the main session, feel free to stick around there, and I can talk to any of that. Also, if you just want to ask for the advising or whatever, feel free to go to that same email that all gets sent to me. I'll make sure I can get you in contact with the actual advisors for our program. So yeah, with that, I'd welcome you all to apply. It's a great program here. I've been absolutely giddy about working here. It's been a really fun time. We make some really cool wines, and we have really big things ahead of us. So I really encourage everyone to join us here at South Seattle, the Northwest Wine Academy. Did I see there were some questions? There's one question here. I can answer that probably really fast. We signed up in spring 2023. What class can we take the first quarter? So I have to actually look at the offerings for the spring quarter right now. I don't have the actual layout for me right now. There is a handful of classes you could take. The only thing is that if you're on the production side, that whole series does start in fall. So it would be kind of a hard thing to actually get you on the elements of wine production 3 without having gone through 1 and 2. That being said, there are still a myriad of other classes you could take in lieu of that, and then start the actual elements of winemaking production series that upcoming fall. Or if you're already through your first year, it would be the winery production 1. You would start that in fall. So it's just those classes that are very, very tied to being in order. Pretty much all the other classes are available, assuming you have the prerequisites, whenever they're offered. So hope that answers the question a little bit.
It's confusing and it's kind of hard to tell on the because there's that list that says all the classes, and I think the ones that are like 1, 2, 3, those ones it's like super obvious. You're like, oh yeah, of course I have to take 1 before 3.
Sure.
But if it's not the exact same 1, 2, 3 class, it's a little confusing where it's like, oh, can I take this class now, or do I have to take something else first? You know what I mean? If you're kind of
Yeah. No,
hopping around
totally.
and taking classes.
So if you'd like, that was just a real big snapshot of like, these are the classes that are offered. If you really want to what's being offered right now, if you actually go to either the Northwest Wine Academy website, which is just that, Northwest Wine Academy, or you can go to the actual Seattle College's page. There's an entire spread, layout of what classes are being offered in spring, and all the prerequisites for that class will also be listed there. So I don't have that up right now for me, but the information is widely, it's available on the website. And if you'd like, I can share a link inside the chat here to how to get there.
That would be awesome. I've looked at all the different websites because like this one leads you to that one, which leads you to this one, which leads you to that one. But there's no like, here's the suggested first quarter, second, you know what I mean? There's not like.
Sure. I'll actually be sure to get that to you here. I'll make sure I can I'll get that to you before you go here. But great. So I'm actually going to go ahead and stop the recording at this point.